So this is the Chateaubriand or butt end of the eye fillet. The eye fillet is yay big. This is the widest part of the eye fillet. You've got the centre cut eye fillet here, then you go to the tail. So the butt end is the thickest part. The centre section is the most sought after piece. It's like the Rolls Royce of the eye fillet. That usually gets exported to Korea, Japan. And we are left with the butt end of the eye fillet, which is still a beautiful piece of meat. You can do a lot of things with it. First thing is, you could age it in your fridge. Aging it on a plate gets it out of its blood. It will dry out the skin. It will be easier to get a nice char on. It will have a beautiful crust, more char, more colour, more flavour. So fiercely hot pan, nearly about to ignite. The only two things you need: oil, salt, a bit of pepper. So olive oil, it's got a very low flash point. It's going to ignite so much easier than grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil, you can get to extreme temperatures without it burning your food, igniting, burning your house down, and also very little flavour. It's going to impact, very little flavour profile. It's going to impact your meat. So first of all, we're going to clean up all this sinew off the eye fillet, remove all this excess fat, which was unnecessary, and make it nice and tidy, make it presentable, easy to cook. First of all, you want as sharpest knife that you've got in the house, you want to take away as little as you can. So I'm going to stretch this sinew and I'm going to run the knife all the way down. So you're trying to just get sinew and very little meat. So I'll do that again. Knife in, that way, then stretch the sinew, run the knife up. It's angled ever so slightly upwards and you're removing minimal amounts of meat. In, stretch, back the other way. In, and out. You cannot cook sinew out. Half an hour or 4 hours of cooking, it's still going to be there. It's going to be chewy, it's going to be tough, it's going to ruin your meal. The meat's going to curl up, you're going to lose the shape. You won't get the proper char because your meat's curled. Sinew is very stringy, you can see here. Really stringy. You can see the fibres in it. That's the one that you want to get rid of. And then fat is really more white, almost removable by hand. It will tear away. A very good rule when butchering: identify the grain, identify the direction of the grain. This grain is going this way, so we're going to cut against the grain, always against the grain, so that when you're eating a steak, your teeth are penetrating with the grain, a lot more tender, easier to eat, chew it within seconds. So, easy to do with an eye fillet. It's pretty much told you which way to cut it. We're going to cut it this way. Identify how big you want your steak. 200 grams is a really good starting point, your general rule. 200 grams, a little bit there. 300, you're probably up here. To be able to achieve medium rare or medium or a nice, beautiful colour when you cut into your steak, you do need some thickness in your steak. 2 fingers is a nice one to start with if you're worried about weight or guessing. If you cut a thin steak on the eye fillet, you're going to get that beautiful char. It's going to look fantastic. You're going to have a well done steak. A thicker steak, you can achieve that char, you can achieve that crust, the saltiness, and almost beautiful medium rare, medium inside. In order to get a nice, clean, beautiful cut, your meat's not falling over or bending. 1, sharp knife, number 1. 2, nice, clean, move the knife, move the blade in and out. So you're not just getting a knife and going bang. Your meat's going to fold in. You're not going to get a clean cut. Your steak won't be straight. Then, not a good crust. The meat's going to cook unevenly. Okay, so we're going to cut 200 grams in and then through. There's your beautiful steak. Okay, so we've cut our steak. Now we're ready to cook. So seasoning, oil, easy as that. A little bit of oil on, not too much. So we're all the plate, so we want an absolute minimal oil on the pan. The less oil in the pan, the less it's going to ignite, the less it's going to burn, the less it's going to impact the flavour of the steak. Okay, we've oiled our steak. First step, salt is going to draw out the moisture. So we try and salt just as it goes in the pan. So pepper does not burn. Pepper everywhere. Remember that as this goes in the pan, most of it's probably going to fall off. It's probably good to over season. A little bit of salt and pepper is probably going to fall off in the pan as it's cooking, so you can afford to season a little bit higher at this stage. Okay, salt just before you start cooking. Salt on from a height. It's going to equally distribute itself as it falls onto the steak. If you were to do it quite low, you're going to salt one point of it heavily. So if you salt from up here, equally seasons the steak. Keep bouncing it backwards and forwards to each side of the pan. So we're going on 90 degrees, then flip 90 degrees again to get that nice char. Then in the oven, up to your discretion how long you want to cook it for. 200 grams steak, 220 degrees, probably 4 to 5 minutes. Out of the oven, rest it on a cooling rack, half the amount of time that you cooked it for. At least, you can go longer if you like. Done, steak's done. So you've got a beautiful crust on your steak, you've got a nice medium rare centre, no blood.